Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Rules Horror. Story 1. Re-welcome new tenant. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. Hey there! I usually like to greet new tenants face to face, but unfortunately life has kept me busy as of late, so I have left a note for you in the main hallway, just some simple rules and useful info to help you settle in. Thank you for buying through my site and I hope you enjoy the place. Let me know if you need anything. Dave. The note reads as followed. Simple rules. 1. The light in the basement is a bit dodgy, so please try not to leave it on for too long. It has a tendency to kill bulbs fairly easily due to some connection issues. I would also suggest you have a flashlight or some other kind of backup light source just in case this happens. It's not a good idea to be in the darkness for too long down there. 2. You will find a few old clocks in some rooms of the house. They were left by a previous tenant and I decided to keep them. They are quite old, so don't be surprised if the hands just stop moving at random times. However, if at any point you happen to notice the hands spinning counterclockwise, then please leave that room immediately. Make sure the door is fully closed behind you, and don't re-enter the room for at least 20 minutes. The rooms you will find clocks in are as followed: the downstairs living room, the kitchen, upstairs guest bedroom, attic and the annex connected to the dining room. 3. Some of the wooden floorboards on the second floor landing are a bit loose, so if you're walking around at night you may occasionally hear sounds like that of moans or deep woody groans. Sorry about that, never got them fixed. However, if you think you might hear a very soft growl behind the groaning, then make sure you stand completely still until the growling stops, then quickly make your way to the closed room with a door, and close it behind you. You'll be fine after about 5 minutes, don't worry. 4. When you're entering the downstairs toilet, just make sure to close the door fully and lock it. Also make sure to pull hard on the window's handle. The window is a bit broken and so doesn't really fully close, but also doesn't open anymore. Because of this, if you don't pull hard on it, there will be a bit of a breeze that has been known to blow the door and slam it shut quite loudly. It annoys the neighbors and damages the door. Also, please make 100% sure that you have the light turned on before you take your hand off of the door handle. Trust me. 5. If you happen to be grabbing things from the fridge at any point and hear some soft cracking and or hissing noises, please close the fridge door for a bit. I've never known why, but for some reason if the fridge door is left open for too long, the freezer will start to defrost a bit. It's weird but not too much of a problem, I guess. Just don't eat anything you don't remember opening or buying. 6. Under no circumstances should you answer the main door to anyone after 11 p.m., 9:30 p.m. on Sundays, unless you are completely sure it's someone you have invited to join you. If you have in fact invited someone round and they will be arriving past these times, ask them to knock 3 times, each time higher on the door, and then press the doorbell. If you aren't expecting anyone, then don't open the door. Sounds weird, but better safe than sorry. 7. Up in the attic will be a few boxes of some of my old stuff that I had stored there. I've made sure it's as organized as possible to make sure you have some storage space as well. Just please make sure not to open the wooden chest up there. And above all else, never open the attic curtains. Finally, the garden shed. The roof of it is a bit lower than it looks from the outside, so mind your head. Some of the edges can be a bit sharp. Stay safe and just keep an eye on your height. I wouldn't suggest getting your scalp full of small cut, it hurts. If you happen to have any questions for me about house-related topics, then please don't hesitate to ask. I'm always up for a friendly chat. I would once again like to thank you for your purchase and welcome you to this community. I hope you enjoy your time here. Please don't die. Dave. Story 2. How to deal with mimics. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. If you are reading these rules and guidelines, then you probably realized that something in your house is off. This is what we call a mimic. Mimics can take forms of objects, and can vary in danger. Here are some rules to survive, and possibly get rid of mimics. Ensure nothing is wrong with furniture. drawers, etc. If something is off, there is a chance it is a mimic. Make sure that any food may be where it was, particularly meat. If it is gone, then it is possible a mimic is living inside of your home. Make sure that you can keep track of your house. If something seems off from when you last checked, make sure it isn't a mimic. Mimics react strangely to iron or metals, so something like a safe wouldn't be a spot for a mimic. If you think, or are absolutely certain a mimic is inside of your home, stay vigilant, and stay awake until you can get rid of it. They won't just wait for you to find them. If people live with you, make sure they aren't abnormal in any major way. Kinds of abnormalities consist of extremely pale skin, constantly dying skin, odd rotting smells, bumps or bruises in odd places, and if they aren't even supposed to be with you. Try to figure out what danger level the mimic is. It could help you if you have a mimic in your house. A list is provided after Rule 9. If you cannot find a mimic, but there are multiple signs that a mimic is inside of your home, your best choice is to leave your home until the mimic leaves or can be disposed of. Mimics can be tough to kill, or even wound. If you have to fight off a mimic, use blunt weapons. Mimic danger levels. Mimics aren't all the same, they can be more dangerous than one another. This is a list of danger levels and signs that match it. Danger level E. The mimic is not as violent or seemingly aggressive towards you. These mimics tend to be newly made, and unaware of their surroundings. Remove this mimic once found. Danger level D. The mimic is more adapted, and is violent. They tend to be more obvious than other mimic types. Danger level C. The mimic is most likely older than the previous two, and is likely more hidden. They tend to eat more at this age, and a lot of food tends to disappear when one is inside of a home. Danger level B. The mimic is more smart, and can spend days without being noticed. This type usually tries to stay unobvious, but can easily make mistakes about what it's doing. Danger level A. These types are extremely dangerous, and can go further than disguising as objects, and can literally disguise as humans. They can hide up to a month without notice, and can even act like actual household items. Danger level S. One of the most dangerous types, these mimics won't just disguise as humans, they can sometimes steal the lives of people and pretend to be them. It is unlikely that one will be in the S level of danger. But if you somehow find one, KILLIT mimics sometimes, don't stay mimics for a while. Mimic reproduction time. Mimics seem to make more mimics from some unknown biological means. The most video footage of reproduction was an odd egg appearing from a mimic. During this time, they eat more and become less active. Evolution. As I mentioned, they sometimes don't stay mimics. Sometimes, they become something we call stalkers after becoming one. A mimic may start to act weird toward the person who owns the place they were hiding in. They may disguise as a human to gain the trust of them, then eventually kill them. There was one case where actually I won't mention that because it's kinda weird. I hope this guided you in dealing with mimics. Hey boss? When did that drawer open? Story 3. Plane -2 Shifting Skylines. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. To you who made the dissension. So, you finally gathered the courage to make the dissension. I'm honestly impressed. Other defiers usually agonize over their situation for at least a few days before they even think of holding the knife. But you, it only took you like what? Little more than 2 hours to compose yourself enough to slit your own wrist? Either you're used to this, possess the composure of an emotionless monster, or you just have the bravado of a fool thinking he can struggle his way out of quicksand. Either way, it is still true that you managed to calm yourself enough to open the gateway in such a short time, and whatever it is helped you wind down that quickly, it'd be great help on your search for a way out. Anyways, chit-chats out of the way, if the forever rotating sky wasn't already a dead giveaway, know that the dissension was a success and now you are on plane -2. Before you continue with the note, I need you to look around real quick and run for cover in one of the empty buildings or ruins. in case you didn't drop inside one in the first place. Found somewhere? Good. Below is a quick run-through of Plane -2. Plane -2 is an infinite straight city comprised of a single straight road and 2 lines of abandoned buildings and ruins. Plane -2 is considered one of the safer planes to traverse and explore as no entity resides on this plane, but this does not mean that it is completely safe. The distinctive feature of Plane -2 that separates it from many other planes is its shifting skyline. To be more specific, the sky here rotates, and occasionally, you might catch an exact replica of the endless street and its building shift through the sky. Do keep in mind that as the replica is an exact one, the buildings and ruins are just as neglected and old. And gravity works the same way here, just because it's upside down doesn't mean it has its own gravity, that's why I required you to seek shelter ASAP. Nobody likes getting hit with a falling chunk of buildings, or an entire building now, do they? Do excuse the sounds, as the sky is constantly revolving and with it a whole fucking city, of course it's going to be noisy. If you somehow decide to try to find the end of this road, I won't stop you, but again, there isn't one, and know that I will stop observing you should you do so on the 5th day since you start. Now that you got a general idea of what this plane has to offer, watch out for falling rubble or even whole-ass buildings. Now I shall begin on how you can descend onto the next plane. From your hiding spot, observe the sky, wait until the replica city have gone past before going out and look closely at both sides of the endless road. Pay close attention to all the buildings and look for a tall green tower, that's where you should be heading. Know that you will always be able to see the tower, no matter how far away it is. That's just a feature of this plane. On noticing the tower, start moving towards it. You can either play it safe and slowly make your way towards it, seeking shelter every time the replica goes by, or, if you're confident enough in your dodging, just go straight for the tower. Do know that getting trapped under a building for an eternity isn't really a fun way to go. After all, you can't die here. Also focus on your surroundings. That tower is the center of this plane. The closer you are to it, the louder the noises get, the more the area distorts, especially the sky, and the more the buildings become run down. Once you got to the tower, head on in, you will see that it's an empty tower, save for a flight of stairs that seems to lead up to the top. While you'd be correct if you had guessed that that is your way out, know that it isn't at the top of those stairs. Like the roads, they're endless. Start walking up the stairs, just keep on walking until you are completely sure that the ground is not visible anymore. You will see, in its stead, a veil of darkness covering what was once the ground. Then, simply climb over the rails and jump. Again, only jump when your vision of the ground has been obstructed by complete darkness. That is the gateway to Plane -3. Now while this isn't a rule on how to descend from Plane -2, I do have to warn you that you should prepare for trouble the moment you decide to jump. Starting from Plane -3, you'll begin to encounter other entities and defiers, many of which are less than friendly to say the least. You will also start to feel pain again, so all the more reason to prepare yourself. Plane -2, while regarded as one of the safer planes, is still very much deadly and dangerous as many defiers has given up on this plane after being stuck under an entire fucking structure that fell onto them. Just watch out, make your way to the tower and from then on, you're good to go, at least until you descend into Plane -3, then prepare to run and fight for your life. May you safely make your descension until then. Leonos. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.